Hi, I'm Milo with Embark, and I'm here to share with you a few more tips and tricks about tent camping, this time from the inside of your tent. The inside of your tent are supremely important spaces on your trek. They are your place for rest, to get warm and dry after a long, potentially hard, and sometimes wet day of hiking. So it's important to take care of these spaces and to organize them well. So first off, obviously, you're going to have your sleeping pad and your sleeping bag, and they're going to be lengthways in the tent, and you will be sharing a tent more than likely with someone else. So there'll be two sets. You won't have quite as much space as I have today. So therefore, it's important to be organized and know where you put things. Some initial things to think about are, what are your items that you're going to need quick access to? Maybe chief among these is your headlamp. So if you do need to get up in the middle of the night, go to the restroom or something like this is going to be an invaluable tool, and you're going to want to know where it is. So for things that you want to get to quickly, most tents will have really handy mesh storage pockets. Sometimes they'll have them up above as well. And that's where you can put things like your headlamp, your phone, other things that you're going to want to have accessible throughout the night. Next, you're going to have multiple bags that you're going to need to store. You may have your backpack from your day of hiking. You may have a duffel that was brought in by a porter, or you may have your large backpacking pack. Regardless, you're going to need to store these things. So we really have two major places we can store gear. One is going to be at either the head or the foot of my little area where I'm sleeping. The other is going to be outside of the inner wall of the tent in the vestibule. Both places are great places to store things. The thing to note about the vestibule is it is not entirely sealed from the elements. There is space where wind can flap this fly, and water, snow, other things can get in. So it's important to remember that things that go in the vestibule do have the potential of getting wet. Subsequently, you're going to want to make sure that the things you really want to be nice and toasty dry, like your clothes or maybe your hiking boots, go on the inside of the tent. Now, if your hiking boots are really muddy or something like that, or the weather forecast is great, sure, leave them tucked right next to the body of the tent, away from the edge of the vestibule, and they'll be fine. Next to think about is the things that you have in your pack. Now, if you are in bear country, your guide will most likely ask you to give them all of your snacks and food from the day, as well as any scented items you may be carrying. So even if they're sealed, granola bars, things like that, those are generally going to go in a safe storage location, such as a bear can or a bear hang. So be prepared for that. It's nice to keep things condensed so that it's easy to hand off to your guide. Things that often are overlooked are your scented bathroom products, which can include your deodorant, your toothpaste, and even your toothbrush with the residue of toothpaste. Be prepared to hand those things over, and it's nice to pack them in small, condensed bags that you can easily hand over to your guide to be packed away. And that's all I've got.